Welcome to Share Talk, the only podcast where investors come first.
Hi, this is Zak Mir with the Bulletin Board Heroes on Wednesday, the 15th of January. Starting off with Argo blockchain, which doesn't look like too much at the moment, has improved a little over the course of the month with the Bitcoin price, but the bigger picture is a target up to 16 pence, which is the best it's been since it came to the market. In the meantime, probably need to clear this 7 to 7.5 pence area on a more sustainable basis than we have at the moment. The other thing to look out for over the next week or two is a possible rising of the 50-day moving average, currently at 6.08 pence. If that starts rising with the already rising 200-day line, we could see an acceleration to the upside for the stock. I suppose the easiest thing at the moment, though, is just waiting for that late October peak at 8 pence to break. On that basis, then this would become much more obvious momentum trade than it is at the moment. Next stock is Vector, which has been on the radar for a little while now. Good bumping along the bottom type price action here, bumping along or at the 50-day moving average at 17 pence. End of day close, anything north of 19.5 pence would show that we're making decent progress to conquer the November resistance, and also gives us the possibility of a move to the top of a rising August trend channel at 27 pence plus. So that would be quite a decent return for the shares after rather an extended slide since the beginning of last year. Egdon Resources is next, and here one of the most difficult stocks to get a handle on. I suppose if you're wise, you might avoid totally, but we have had this clear break high for the shares, back above the old July and September support at 4 pence, and back above the bottom of the gap from the beginning of November. So really looking quite rather more healthy than of late. End of day close above the 200-day moving average at 4.6 could point to the shares hitting the top of a rising trend channel from July at 7.5 pence. Obviously, as you can see before, we've had a few false dawns. There was one rather vicious one in October, and we've had previous probes through the 200-day line that came to nothing. So I suppose here it's all about the shares really remaining above 4 pence. While they do that, one would be rather relatively more confident of its potential upside. Great Gold, stock which feel I should have looked at a little bit earlier, but in this situation, the highlight at the moment technically is the golden cross between the 50 and 200-day moving averages. That sets up the shares quite nicely over and above the break of that old July peak at 2.11 pence. End of day close and a weekly close above 2.11 over the next few days could and should open up a new target for the stock. Possibly up towards the 2.8 pence level, which is the top of a rising trend channel that I'm attempting to draw at the moment from as long ago as July. Stop loss on the bull argument at the moment, just below the 2 pence area, maybe 1.9, something like that, would do the trick. But with the golden cross there, we should see some reasonable momentum, further momentum for the shares. Next stock is one that I don't believe I've looked at before here. In the recent past, interesting setup here with the neckline break there, that initial December resistance at 25.7 pence. While we're above that, looking for an initial target towards 39 pence, which is the top of a rising November price channel. You could argue that the top of that channel is actually towards 50 pence, but at this stage, even just retesting the bottom of the November gap would be quite a result for the bulls on what is quite an interesting setup there. Finishing off with an old favorite, which comes in the form of Sarium. Here you can see that the shares have successfully probed the 200-day moving average over the last a couple of sessions at 0.448. If we can get an end of day or a weekly close above the December resistance of 0.5, the target here could be as high as the top of a rising June trend channel at 0.8 pence plus. Stop loss back below that mid-December gap, the flush out gap, and also the 50-day moving average at 0.37. That's it from me today. More updates tomorrow.
Thank you for listening. Remember to visit our website for more news and other podcasts at www.share-talk.com.